Welcome back to another episode of Tales from the Riff. And right now, I get to speak to one of my good bros coming all the way from Ohio, my man Jason Phillips of Bringers of Disease and Darkness Undying. What's going on, my man?
How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Good to see you. Get to finally chat with you. You know, we've been trading messages. It feels like forever on Instagram and Facebook and all that good shit.
Goes all the way back to smoke signals.
That's right. That's right. So you recently had a gig was it in Dayton or Cleveland?
We played Dayton on Friday and Akron on Saturday.
Akron. Man, and let me just say that the advance demo of the new record that's gonna be called Sulfur. I mean, anyone out there who is a black metal purist, even war metal purist, look no further than what Jason and his boys are bringing to the table with their new release, Sulfur. And man, let's talk about that. Let's talk about like just how much work has gone into that recording.
Man, it's been a process. We're spread out all over the place, you know?
Right.
So I had some life-changing circumstances a couple years back, and I didn't know what to do with all of my energy, and so I just started writing some tunes, and I got a hold of Jeff to you see if he was interested in making some music with me again, and we just kind of started piecing stuff together as far as the lineup of the band goes, and me driving to Indianapolis and back a couple times to demo and then record the actual tracks and sending it all over the place for everybody else to do their thing. And it was an interesting experience for me to, to do the remote recording, Last time I was making music, we didn't really have that option. So things were a little different this time around. It's pretty cool, pretty neat.
Yeah, with all that advanced technology, man, like, since I ever first got interested in playing guitar, I mean, like file sharing and all that good shit has come a long way. And it definitely makes things easier for like everyone involved that's spread out, like you said, and making those long drives or even flights even. I mean, because I know, we have a mutual friend, our great friend Ben Falgu of Good Horror, who moved from Louisiana to Washington, I'll say that. And so, he's doing a thing. He has to record vocals here and there and for demo purposes or whatnot, and send them back wherever.
Yeah, Ben's a bit different though, because he would just drive down there.
Yeah, definitely
across the country. He doesn't mind that one bit.
No, he doesn't.
It's a different beast, that man.
But man, speaking of friends and speaking of all that personality, let's get to know you, man. I'm really curious to know your story, and we can go back as far as you want to take it. What got you the itch to play music? What are the major influences? What was life like then? What turned it around, and what's it like today?
Well, let's see. So let's go back, I guess, way, way back, right? That's where you want me to go?
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, I had some cousins down in Tennessee that were big into like the hair metal and cock rock shit, right?
Right.
And I remember seeing all the posters of these wild looking people on their walls, and my mom was way bummed out that I was interested in this shit. And that was kind of like what lit a spark for me. I was like, oh man, mom hates this. There's got to be something behind that,
Definitely.
And as soon as I heard those guitars and The drums, man, it just kind of grabbed me by the soul. And I was on a constant quest from there on out to find shit that was more and more extreme. I wanted to see how far that music could go. And, you know, that was shit, that was in the 80s, bro. So, uh, by the early 90s, I was getting into the death metal and the early black metal and stuff. And amongst also was like hardcore and, pretty much anything underground and extreme, I was a fan of. And shit was so different back then, too, man, because you had to want it. You had to actively seek it out and get to know people and go to shows and be a part of it. You couldn't just be like a novice fan, you know? You had to eat, sleep, and shit what you were doing. And I was into that aspect of it, man. I always wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself, and
Definitely.
uh, it felt like some sort of crazy secret society and shit. The
Know
underground
exactly what
music
you mean.
scene.
Know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where it all started, man. And I talked my parents into getting me a guitar, an electric guitar, and I already had an understanding of music because my parents had me in piano lessons in elementary school. That just didn't do it for me. I loved music, but playing the piano and
It wasn't fun for you.
no, man, there's nothing exciting about this. That's not rebellious. Chicks don't dig that shit, bro. I wanted leather and tattoos and Harley Davidsons and pentagrams and inverted crosses and shit. I wanted to be excited. Uh, but yeah, man, finding all that and getting involved in everything, man, that was a really exciting time in my life, man, to find underground music and kind of explore all of its different corridors.
Now you're living in Ohio at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've always lived in Ohio.
Okay.
So I moved around from Dayton to I'm from like a real shitty small Christian community north of Dayton. Actually, it's the town where if you've seen in the news where that pastor killed his wife a couple weeks
Yes.
ago. That's the
Yes.
town I grew up in, man.
No shit.
Yeah.
Imagine that. A pastor kills his fucking wife in a
Yeah, man.
small knit community.
That's that town to a T too, bro. Very judgmental. Uh and real backhanded about it, and nobody's living up to what they say they're doing. Those
Right.
people were involved in this crazy Christian thing that they're bringing into our schools here called LifeWise Academy. Have you heard of this
Yes.
shit?
I've heard of this shit.
Yeah,
Yes.
she was a teacher there, man. And I told him, I said, man, if you guys even try that shit with my kids, it's a whole nother story, you know? But yeah, dude, that's where I'm from, man. And I guess being a little bit different from a town like that, it just kind of hardened my edges to it. I had to dig deeper.
Yeah, definitely, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. We pretty much grew up in the same type of environment. I know for me, I lived in a small town, maybe 2,300 residents total. Uh, and it was a very tight knit, like Catholic community. You couldn't step outside and fart, and someone's gonna like say some shit about it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's in the paper.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, and like um, at the time growing up in this spot, I felt like I was always the odd duck because I come from a Native American family, and my dad didn't really give a shit about like how I dress or what I look like. My mom, a different story, but like I was wearing black all the time and just getting this fucking stink eye look from everyone because of whatever they felt. But
Yeah.
anyway, back to you, man.
Yeah, I can relate to that, man. My parents were not pleased with the I got into skateboarding and shit around the same time, and in the '90s, that was really frowned upon.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
heavy metal, punk rock, hardcore, skateboarding. That was all Public Enemy #1.
Yeah.
And I, and I'm sure you're the same way. I got off on that shit, man.
Oh, so did I.
Oh, I loved it. I wanted people clutching their pearls and pulling their kids closer when I walked by. That shit was great.
I wanted the wrong kind of attention at a young age.
Yeah. But man, I mean, I think anybody, I would venture to guess most people playing the type of music I play were probably in the same mindset.
Yeah, man. We just, we've like fuck authority.
Yeah.
It was we're like, we're all a little rebellious and legends in our own mind at the time. I know for me, that's how I rolled because I was also skateboarding. I was also I was listening to a whole lot of Bay Area thrash when I was like, like anywhere from 6 to 10 years old. I mean, my older cousins like they lived an hour and a half away from me in a bigger city called Houma, Louisiana, and it was just we would skate at my grandma's house. She had the half pipe that my cousins built, and I mean, like every house down the street was all family, and it's like when my cousin Archie, he was all into like hip hop, Black Sabbath, and Metallica, and then like my another good cousin of mine, T Hank, he was all into the extreme side of shit. Walk into his house, walk into his room, he had the Blackie Lawless door poster, with the blood and the fucking the dick saw and all that shit, and I was like, under the age of 10, going like, what the fuck is this? I was like, and I was just so fucking like interested in what was happening, like music wise, and like that's what just set me on the path.
Yeah, man. And you'd find a band and like Venom or like early Slayer, and they're talking about Satan, and it scared the shit out of you, man. But you wanted more,
Yes, yeah.
It was so fucking cool.
Man, how old were you whenever you discovered Venom?
Man, I was probably in 6th grade, I would think. Somewhere right around 5th, 6th grade, I found like Obituary, Slayer, Venom, Sepultura, man. Beneath the Remains was one that really kind of like how those guitars were so fucking mean, man.
Definitely.
And Cavalera's voice was it wasn't a pretty voice,
No.
Yeah. And it was like that, and I don't know, man. Those early Obituary records, John Tardy's voice, it was so fucking weird, and it was like, man, what are these dudes about? My little young kid brain was going nuts, and I
fucking
couldn't get enough.
James Murphy's leads, dude, were just fucking just so sick.
Yeah, man, it's I don't know. I still get kind of sparkly eyed when I think back to how exciting that era was when you first discover something that's yours.
Right.
It's like, this doesn't belong to everybody. This belongs to me and a few people, and nobody else is going to understand this shit.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, and you see, man, I don't want to sound like a dick, but I seen some people real recently, and I said, man, this is why gatekeeping's important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, God damn. It's like, and they ain't going to be there for long.
No.
But it's like, it's too accessible at times. Yeah. It's great for the people that are going to hold it close to their heart and shit, but it can be too accessible. I've also just realized how much we're jumping all over the place here, Mo.
It's all good, man. I'll keep us on track.
Yeah, okay, good, man. I need a conductor.
Yeah.
I'm tired as shit, and ADHD is all hell, so.
I think I'm undiagnosed anyway, too. I think, somehow, like, my 2 younger sisters, they got the medication, they got the scripts for their Adderall and Ritalin, but I missed that fucking boat.
Yeah. They gave it to me a couple years ago, they prescribed it to me, and you know my history, I think, and I
Um,
said,
I've heard bits and pieces, but man, if you want to like, talk about life leading into that part of history, we can go forward, man.
I'll finish this thought, and we can get
Okay.
into that.
Okay.
I was just going to say, they prescribed me the. I don't remember which one it was, but they prescribed me some of that speedy shit, and I said, man, it would be pretty neat to have one linear thought, but not neat enough to risk my sobriety.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I get it. I get it, man.
Yeah.
And that's
I,
another thing. I mean, people that do not know Jason, he's overcome a lot over the his lifetime. I've heard stories among our friends and a little bit from you as well, offline. I just want to congratulate you on it was like 9 years sobriety, right?
next, like a week from today, bro.
Fucking A, brother.
March 8th.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a whole different world, man. You know,
Definitely.
my drinking and drugging was kind of, it had become my personality, and you know, I I, I carried a bottle of Old Crow whiskey with me everywhere I went, and I used to bartend at a very upscale bourbon bar, and I was really into like super well crafted bourbons and stuff. But nobody remembers me for that shit. They remember me for that piece of shit old Crow bottle that went everywhere with me, you know? I drank a liter of that shit a day for I don't know how long, man. That and as much cocaine as I could fit up my nose. And, I kept, I'd like to tell people that don't know me and they ask me why I don't drink. I tell them it's because I developed an allergy to alcohol and I started breaking out in handcuffs every time I drank.
I I say the same thing, brother. I say the same thing.
Yeah. And it
When I
ain't no
tell
lie, man.
It's not, dude. Like, every time, especially towards the end of my drinking career back in 2007 through '08, it was hard fucking living, man. Like every time I would drink, I was easily provoked and bad shit would happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I uh I got lucky that like I didn't pick up more charges and convictions than what I did, but I being the overachiever that I am, I was on felony probation and federal probation simultaneously. So, anything's
My hat,
possible, kids, if
my
you
hats
set
off
your
to you,
mind
sir.
to it. But yeah, no, man, getting I had, so many of my friends were dead and watching them die if they weren't already dead in prison, and I was on the way to one of those, man, and I had to make a decision, and you know I chose myself and my kids over the rest of it. So i
Yeah,
was
man.
I had my second I got three daughters, and I had the second one,
God bless you, sir.
and then the third one was on the way, and I was looking at all these. Well, I was looking at over a year of time, and there's a spot in Dayton at Woodland Cemetery that's the high point in the city, and it overlooks all the city. You can see everything, and it's real beautiful and serene. And I went. That's where I go to think. And I went up there, and I was thinking, I was like, man, I'm gonna miss Joey May's first steps, and I'm gonna miss Haley being born, and I started thinking about all the shit I could miss. And luckily for me, the judge saw fit to let me do what they call ILC, treatment in lieu of conviction. So I went to this. It's like 6 or 7 months outpatient rehab, intensive outpatient rehab,
Yeah.
and it did the trick. I learned the causes of addiction and alcoholism. They're one and the same. I shouldn't make a difference there. But I learned, what was causing me to be the way I was, and why I couldn't, every time I would stop, why I couldn't stay stopped.
Yeah.
And having that information, that is like so important to staying sober, you know,
Don't I know it, man.
understanding why it works the way it works.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's that part of my history.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, what's like we know, because we probably gone through similar fashion. What's life like today, man?
Man, I joke around about being, old, sober, and boring, but I don't think it's too boring at all. You know?
It's not boring at all for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. I'm riding my motorcycle all over the place. I take a I take a lot of trips to the ocean or out to see, my friends play music or some of our mutual friends play music, and I spend a lot of time with my kids. Uh, Back to playing music after 13 years of inactivity. I'm reliable now. I'm not going to miss any shows or international shows. Apparently, that was frowned upon back in the day. uh, and I got a great old lady, man, and yeah, I got a cool house, and
Yeah, she was getting kinda jealous of our, relationship online, man.
I mean, do you blame her? No, yeah, shit's awesome, man. And I can take the downtime and appreciate it, and I can when bad shit happens, when bad shit hits, it's not the end of the fucking world, man. I can navigate it with a clear mind.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, there are times where it is like we, I don't know if you were friends with him or not, but one of my very close friends, Andrew Garrity, just passed away. And
I met Andrew one time in New Orleans whenever he came through with, Ward High Lung, I believe. He was, doing, merch for them
yep,
and he went as far as putting me on the list to go see them the following day, and, I didn't get to make the show because I had to make a flight, out to I was going to Norway, in fact,
I'm
and,
not shocked. Dual
and,
residency, I think by now, right?
pretty much, man. I mean, all I need is a job and, I'll be hooked up, I guess. But but
Yeah.
but man, Andrew, I mean, just that one night I got to hang out with him, man. He was just nothing but fucking just really giving, really nice, just a gentleman like through and through. And
Yeah.
I felt
Oh
so
man.
bad for people like yourself and everyone that knew him because I mean, you saw the social media posts from bands like 1349 that he toured with and Jared Pritchard was just like making tributes along with you and it was just that's a sad loss, man, and
Yeah.
my
Oh,
sympathies are throughout
I'm gonna
or
miss.
going
I'll
out to
miss
you.
him till the day I die.
Yeah.
He was he was a special friend, man. But navigating that. So I can't imagine what a fucking mess I would have been if I wasn't sober enough to work through it.
Yeah.
You know, um, it being so honest, it came right out of left field.
It really did.
But
He was so young.
yeah, he was, man, and I'd just seen him like a few weeks before, in Chicago for the Acid Bath show, and gotten to hang out. And it had been a long time since we got to actually hang out. Life's busy, especially this whole world is weird because all of our friends come and go. They're always somewhere,
Right.
and sometimes you don't realize that it's been like a year or 5 years or whatever since you've seen somebody. But
Mhm.
we're so used to it that it doesn't seem like they've been physically absent that long. We find out how to stay in touch with text or, the Instagram machine or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I guess, people outside of this industry be would think it wasn't really a friendship or something. I guess
Definitely.
it's a less needy way of living, I think, in this world. So in some regards. But yeah, man, the whole sober thing, dude, is just it's been a real thrill to I guess really learn what it's like to be alive, man.
Yeah.
You know, and
And
then
I really appreciated what you said because like there's a lot of people. Like, I know for me, even like prior to sobriety and even in the middle of my sobriety, sometimes I forget just like how grateful I am that I could actually navigate through life. You know, whether it's because sometimes I don't know how to act whenever things are going really good. You know,
yeah,
like because like I am not infallible to the throes of ego,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and shit like that. You know, sometimes, like, I still want that I still get selfish and I want things when I want it.
yeah.
And then, on the other side of that, there's some disappointment. And
Mhm.
so it's like, I gotta ground myself, and I there's people that are not I guess they're manageable. They're managing their alcoholism. That I think that if they felt what it's like to just go through some life challenges and come on the other side knowing that you're gonna be okay, I bet they wouldn't fucking drink as like we did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that are picking it up now, the sober thing. Or I guess putting it down would be a better phrase, right?
Mhm.
But there's a lot of people figuring it out. Or there's a term going around called sober curious,
Right,
you know,
right.
and
Yeah,
there's sober bars now, and there's I don't I think when people ask me about it or first getting their sober feet under them, I tell them you're about to figure out what real sadness feels like,
yeah,
and you're about to feel what real hurt feels like.
yeah,
But you're also about to feel what real fucking happiness feels like,
yeah.
and that's a whole different ball game.
It really is.
But you have to learn how to navigate that shit without booze and drugs because what before sobriety, what do we do when we're happy or celebrating something?
We're going for the bottle.
Fucking hell, man! What do we do when we're sad? We pick
We're going
up.
for the bottle, dude. If I was
Yeah,
fucking vertical, if I was vertical, I'm falling back on drinking, and then like I know what like with me personally, the drinking led to fucking pills. Like I was a you know hydrocodone type of guy,
yeah.
and if by some chance someone had
Fuck, man, my cats are going nuts. Can you tell I got PTSD?
apparently the cat heard codeine was like fuck yeah, give me some of that shit too.
Cat's like, it's about to get weird. Run. You like to
But
go in the opposite direction of me,
yeah,
man.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember a while back, maybe this was some higher power, somebody stepping in, but like one of my good friends, like asked me if I wanted to do a line of cocaine, and I did it one time, and I was one and done because I did not like the way my heart was fucking felt like it was about to beat out my chest.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was in control, but I felt like the illusion of me being controlling with alcohol and like some substances that would bring me down. I felt like I had more control, but I did not. That was a huge fallacy.
Yeah. 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 I loved that. I, yeah. I just, our show last night, we played with a friend's band from Detroit, and I hadn't seen him in 20 years. And I didn't even realize it had been 20 years, The last time we seen each other, I was really going after it, And I used to tell people I would gladly accept donations of their cocaine from the stage. I just out with it every show. I had a whole thing I would say in hopes that
That's fucking
somebody would
wild.
bring me drugs.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I ain't going to say that line this time, man, that phrase is a thing of the past, but I don't know. It's been pretty interesting.
What's
When we played back in November, that was the first time I had ever played a show sober in my entire life.
and how did that feel, man?
horrifying, but good.
I could believe that. I could believe
Yeah.
that.
No, it was good, man. It was really good. I think I was lucky enough to have this much sober time under my belt that, you know, I knew how to navigate my mind.
Right.
So, and you know, it had been a long time, but it was like walking back in the house after a vacation. You know, it was familiar. So
I was just gonna ask, man, like, you know, because you said you had, you know, a long absence from getting back on in the venues and playing like that. Um, so I guess you know that was the whole time you were like, you know, starting the sober life, and getting life back together.
that happened about well, a little ways in. So um, let me think through this. So like the last Bringers of Disease album came out in 2011,
Okay.
right? Yeah, 2011,
Okay.
and I it wasn't exactly the last thing I did. We played some shows and stuff. Um, and then Jeff and Neil Jameson and I did that Le Chant Funèbre, uh, like Blackened Funeral Doom thing. We did that album. And then that was it for me, man. I was too wrapped up. Well, I became very unreliable. And I was so wrapped up in the drugs and alcohol thing, man, that I lost my motivation to pick up my instrument. Um, I stopped going to shows. Uh, I just fell off of that, and I really get kind of absorbed into the motorcycle life and was doing that. But you know, when you get sober, you start piecing all of your pieces back together. The
That's why they
puzzle that
call it
makes
recovery.
you, huh?
That's why they call it recovery.
Yeah, yeah, man. So I just started, you know, when I got sober, putting all these things back together, and it had been a long time. So I toyed with the idea uh, of playing music. The original drummer and I in 2017 got together for a little bit and started working on some stuff, and that fizzled out. And he was busy with one of his other bands, and he was busy with his company, and uh, I was busy with, you know, my 1 million daughters and and motorcycle stuff. So it, you know, it just wasn't time. It wasn't time. The stuff I was writing at that point wasn't uh, the stuff I've been writing now. It wasn't up to. I wasn't ready, and the catalyst was, you know, my marriage falling apart. My ex wife had her own addiction issues, and I'm not going to throw her under the bus or set because, man, we've all been there, and I understand it. At the time, I was very hurt and betrayed, and but it wasn't about me, man. And I was making it about me. It was that at the selfishness of an addict. I made it about me. I could have handled shit for her and the kids differently than I did, but I went into protect mode for myself and the kids, you know. And but all that worked out really, really well. She's remarried with a great guy who's also in recovery, has her life together. Things are excellent. So I don't want this to sound like I'm saying anything bad about her.
No, no, not at all, man.
Uh,
It just sounds like, you know, you've gotten recovered to the point where, you know, um, another level of maturity and understanding, you know, just, you can allow yourself to just, you know, look back on the situation as a whole, and be like, "You know what? Look, this is where we were at that point of our lives,
yeah,
and, you know, we're moving forward as
yeah,
best we can."
yep. And then from that, when all that hit the fan, man, and the whole world came crashing down at that point in time, I picked up my guitar because I had nowhere else to put all of those that feeling and that energy. It would either be coming out in my guitar or in righteous self destruction, you know. So I went with the guitar route. I hit up Jeff, and that's where it all kind of came full circle, you know.
Yeah.
It got me back where I need to be making music. It got me going back to shows, uh, and which is how I met Lindley. So, uh, you know, everything, and she's on her sober journey now too.
That's amazing.
So there's a lot of good sober shit happening, and a whole lot of metal happening, and yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you know, it's weekends like these, man, for me personally, like, um, if I had I not gotten sober back in September of 2008, there is no way my adult son, um, would be hanging out with his dad.
yeah,
You know, we share birthdays. I'm February 26th, he's the 27th. He was my birthday gift back in 2003,
yeah,
and, there's no fucking way. Had I mean, I'd probably be dead by now, first and foremost, but, but if I would just continue that trajectory of just living to drink, living to use, and not having, enough selflessness to worry about my fucking family, the kid would not be here. He would not want anything to do with me, man. And I've sadly have family members that are going down that road,
yeah,
and or went down that road. And it's when I hit bottom, I mean, I knew, like, okay, like, everyone told me I had drinking issues before, but at that point, I ended up in jail. Everything close to me was gone. Bridges were burned, you fucking name it. So, like I entered a 30-day residency, and I've been sober ever fucking since.
fuck yeah, man. Proud of you.
I'm proud of you, brother. Proud of
Yeah,
you. And,
good
I
shit.
mean, like, life is going good for you and and, I just wouldn't have it any other way for you, man. So,
Nah,
I say that, like, in all sincerity and all
yeah,
earnestness, man. Like, I know I know that you're doing a deal, because I talked to Ben about you, yesterday. We were on the phone call, and, he even said, man, he's like, "Look, man, Jason, even whenever he was, using, and, you know, he's like, whenever Goat Horror would roll through, Akron, or
Dayton.
Dayton,
Yeah,
sorry, Dayton, he was like, everyone, like yourself and everyone else, was partying and doing the deal, whatnot." And he was like, Jason was still, he had enough sense knowing that I don't like to party as hard as everyone else. He's like, "Here, man, here's your own room. You can go and fucking sleep it off, because I know you knew that Ben had to drive the following, morning, or whatever
yeah.
the case was." He was like, you know, alcoholics aren't always bad people. you
No,
know,
man. No, I
we
was
still
just drunk,
yeah, we're just drunk, man. We're like, we're drunks, and we still have a sense of sensibility and some charitableness and all that good shit. So, it's just, once you get the person away from the bottle, and, like, have a string along enough time and some experience being sober, dude, like, good shit starts to happen.
I on a side note, uh, speaking of Ben, I'd like to know how the fuck that man's not bald and gray, having dealt with all of us drunk assholes for so long.
That is a
Why
great
am I the
fucking
one that's bald
question.
and gray?
That's a great fucking question, man. You know, uh, I think, and I talked to him about this. I talked to, and this is like, probably a few months back. And one of the best, I asked him, I said, dude, like, um, because I always tell him, I said, dude, if I had to deal with this personality, or if I had to deal with that situation, either I would have been out of the band, or I would have been out of the situation. I probably would have whipped somebody's ass. I was like, "You a better person than me." And Ben would always fire back at me and saying, "It's not that I'm a like." This is what makes Ben Fagu great. He says, "It's not that I'm a better person than you, Mo. I probably have a little bit more experience, because he does. He's older than me. He's like, A, I got probably a little bit more patience than you." And I'm like, "That's fair. That's fair." And secondly, I'm still in a situation that I'm doing what I love, you know? And
Yeah.
I totally get that. It's like, like Ben's passion is being, a vocalist for extreme metal bands.
Yeah, man.
And dude, like he's been doing that since he was probably like 16 years old, man. It's like, why would he want to do anything, like take control and be selfish to the point where he wants to control someone, like just beat the sense into, like that doesn't make sense to him. And
Hmm.
I love that about him.
Man, you and I have so much respect for Ben. He's become one of my. I would consider him in my closest friends
Same, same.
circle in my world, and he we've talked about this before. Is that motherfucker has an antenna for the people he cares about. He senses when shit's gone bad, it goes up,
Yeah.
and he picks up the phone.
Yeah.
And when my ex and I split, the first weekends where I didn't have my kids with me was when I was sitting here in this house by myself, and I don't do a lot of socializing, and man, that depression hit, and I didn't know how to fucking deal with it. And every single time I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to learn how to tie a rope real good.
Oh
My
shit.
phone would go off, and it was fucking Ben.
Yeah.
And he had no idea, and I would never tell him. But
Yeah.
and we talked for a couple hours. I get off the phone like, man, life's really fucking good, you know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. I know that feeling.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, he just calls you out the blue, man. And like whenever he does call, he's like, "Hey, kid, what's going on?" I was like, "Nothing. I wasn't expecting your phone call." He's like, "You doing all right?" I was like, uh, and he senses that little hesitation. He's like, let's talk about it."
yeah,
You know, you know,
yeah. It's uncanny,
it's
man. And
yeah,
and that
dude.
dude asks all the right questions.
Yeah, he
I've never
does.
met another motherfucker that's on a quest for knowledge like that dude. That dude wants to know why you think everything you think,
Yeah,
and he expects an explanation.
he does.
Yeah,
And and I like how he's like one of the first people outside of like my sobriety sponsors that gets me to redirect how I'm thinking.
yeah,
And like
yeah,
if I say, "Hey, look, man, I'll apologize to him." Like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry about that. I'm wrong for that." He's like, "No, no, no, no. It's not that you're wrong. Is that you just believe it a certain way, and I'm getting you to think about it a different way." I'm like, "I'm about to be done with AA sponsorship, man. Just like you just get
yeah.
called Ben.
I think I'm fixed.
I think I'm fixed here."
Holy shit! Yeah, it's uncanny, man. He's got a knack for it, and I'm very thankful for it, man. He's a real good friend to have,
Yeah.
you know. And he's the single that drops the first single that's dropping off this. He's doing guest vocals on.
That see the segue? We
Yeah,
used Ben
yeah.
as a segue to get
Hey,
there.
hey, listen. This has all been scripted, by the way, and it's brought to you by our sponsors at.
Well, man, I mean, let's talk about the new album for a little bit more.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that like inspired you as a guitar player and a musician to write some of these riffs, man? Because they are fucking punishing.
Well, I guess the overall emotion on this album is just being pissed off and depressed, man. I was just, all that shit that happened really fucked my head up,
Yeah,
and I needed a way to get it out that was productive. I got like my kids depending on me and shit. I can't self destruct, so I had to figure out something to do. As far as musically, what are my influences? Man, that's so fucking vast. You know, and it shifts, it undulates for me, man. I'll find a time where I'm really into, like, Ben calls it forest metal, right?
yeah,
Uh, and and you know exactly what he's talking about. So there's some of those style riffs in there, and then you know, I get really into the war metal thing and that whole Ross Bay cult shit, and uh, that's kind of my thing right now. That I just can't get enough of that chaos.
Yeah.
And then you know, old death metal, man, old American death metal. That you know, those bottom two strings and just beating the shit out of them, man.
Yeah.
And that low rumble, you know, um, and I'm a really big fan of going fast. So
Yeah. Same here. Same
yeah,
here. You know,
yeah,
it was so funny because like just yesterday I asked for some guest suggestions, and one of my partners had I used this I posted a sticker. He recommended Bong Ripper, and I was like, yeah, you know, they're not slow enough. You know,
I
just 'cause,
saw that.
you know, you know, no hate on doom metal or anything like that, man. I just,
Yeah,
you know, it's like, um, I come from a spot like you know, in the '90s, like everything was faster, everything was fucking heavier and
yeah,
chuggier. And then when I discovered black metal, it opened up a new fucking layer to my mind, and I was
yeah.
like, "Fuck."
Well, you know, when you use slow proper, you know, when
Hmm.
you go fast into this a mid tempo riff, or you drop, you know, to halftime,
Yeah,
and that shit hits you like a shovel to the fucking mouth, man.
yeah,
And I'm a big fan of that type of tempo change, and I'm not afraid to go slow. I just prefer to be a little faster. Uh,
same, same.
but I incorporate. There's some doom influence in a lot of the stuff I do too, but more of the funeral doom kind of thing. But uh, I like to vary it, man. You can't. There's bands that go fast all the time, and that's great. Angel Corpse is fucking awesome, right?
Yep.
But it's I want to hear some variation, man. I want to feel the wave of emotion, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that too. I like the way you put it. You know, just like the ebbs and flows of emotional,
Yeah.
of you know, playing guitar and the you know and all that.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't even get to ask you as far as like learning the guitar. I mean, were you just self taught or?
Man, I took I think it was 5 guitar lessons in the very beginning. And the guy was he was a really great guitar player, you know, rock and roll and jazz and blues and shit. He knew his way around it. He was a terrible fucking teacher, like most guitar teachers. They're just dudes that play guitar. They know how it works and they know how to do it, but they can't tell you why
Yeah,
that's what you do. You know what I mean?
yeah, that fretboard masturbator, just like yeah, all you
Yeah,
gotta do is just and I'm like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. And you know, I never had any interest in being a shredder. I love that shit. It's great to watch. It's great to listen to. It doesn't. I have no interest in it myself.
Yeah,
I'm an emotional player, you know. Um, so I like to convey that. Keith Richards is my all time favorite, you know, and the way he writes shit, rhythm guitar as a lead, right? You don't need a lead player when you got a guy like that. Or David Gilmour, the way he understands where notes go and shit like that. And that's the type of shit I paid attention to, and probably doesn't really show uh, when you listen to, to the music I've made. But that's kind of like the seed that planted the way I do things. And man, I just lost my train of thought.
well, I was about to ask you, man. Like, so, like, whenever you know started discovering these extreme metal guitar players, who were some of the ones that you know you said, man, you know that's the direction I want to take. That's where I want to go with my style.
Man, um, early Trey Azagthoth stuff was a really big influence to me. Uh, you know, like Altars of Madness is fucking
It's
it
classic, dude.
oh, it changed everything.
Yeah.
Uh, for me, But when I heard when Covenant came out and World of Shit with that low, that 7 string. I don't play 7 string, by the way. That's just a side note. But the that low end, man, and the groove, and it conveyed an emotion and an anger to me, and I was like, oh fuck, I want to harness that energy,
Right.
and so that was one, man. And fuck, dude, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really thought about it when it comes to. You ever hear a band called Die Primordial from Sweden?
Yes.
They
Yes.
have an album called Where Only Seasons Mark the Paths of Time.
Hmm.
Came out in the mid 90s, I think. That was one that changed things for me. The It was dark but melodic and pretty at the same time, but not in like the flittery kind of dark and pretty way,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? It sounded really pissed off in a pretty way. And I'll always cite that band or that album as an album that really um, did something for my direction. There's the last song on Sulfur uh, has a steel guitar in it, and I Jeff had a steel guitar and he's been messing around with it, and I said, man, you got to use that on this record, please. And the whole reason I wanted that in there, man, was because Die Primordial was the only other band, extreme metal band, I'd ever heard use a steel guitar.
Damn, I'm gonna
And
go back and check out that fucking album then.
yeah, it was a I don't know, like I just wanted to throw a little nod in there towards that.
Okay.
And I don't think anybody it's so I don't think anybody would go, oh, I bet that's a nod to Thy Primordial. It's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
like a stylistic thing or anything. And I wasn't the one playing it. I just I had an idea, like just a little nod in that direction, and it worked out really cool, man. I'm real stoked on what Jeff did with it on that song, and that dude is able to take my jumbled thoughts and piece them together to make it cohesive.
Yeah.
It's a good working relationship.
Yeah, that's how, like, me and one of my good friends, we haven't put anything out just yet, but we're working on some material, and he's doing that for me, man. He's definitely my Jeff, because like I sitting on a stockpile of riffs, and he was like, okay, that's not gonna work here. Let's do this. Let's put that there,
Yeah,
and he'll just add harmonies because I've only been playing guitar now just maybe 5 years, and
yeah. Well, you're getting an arsenal of cool fucking guitars, Mo.
dude, I got the gear, acquirement syndrome like bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, man, like guitars, like
They're so
I
pretty.
can't have them all, but I sure would like to.
Yeah, yeah. But man, yeah, I got one more being built by my good friend Nick Adams out in Utah.
Yeah, man.
We're putting together something really fucking cool again, and I can't wait for that fucker to be delivered.
Another one?
Another one. It's another Hellbent. Our
Not the
co-design.
one I've been seeing.
Yeah, the one that if Nick's like putting together all the social media stuff right now, that's the one. That's
That
like,
thing's fucking sick, bro.
dude,
Yeah.
wait, I can't wait till he starts showing like the paint finish.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
He's working on it right now. He sent me some samples of what he wants to do. I'm like, dude, I gave him total free reign. I gave him an idea. I gave him the theme of it, and like, we're just gonna make the coldest fucking guitar ever.
I love it, man. I love it. I'm gonna have one of those one of these days.
Dude, I'm telling you.
We talked briefly about it. He's a good dude, man.
Nick's the greatest, man.
Yeah.
I'm real stoked for him to come out here in Louisiana again. They came spend a weekend in November for the UNO Acid Bat show, and he was like, man, he was just soaking up all the Southern hospitality and the food and all that good shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta come back here for a fucking week. I was like, you got a place to stay, brother. Come on.
Yeah, man. You guys are always welcome to come up here,
Hey, man. I was thinking about doing that actually, because I think Acid Bat's playing another show like in March this
March
month,
13,
March
Cleveland.
13th. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I was thinking about making that trip possibly.
Man, you probably should. Me and Lindley will be there. My eldest daughter, Raven, will be there with us. She's got to get her time in with Uncle Sammy.
Yeah, there you go.
That's her dude.
Yeah. I tell you, talk about your daughter Raven, man. I am thoroughly impressed about just the amount of black metal she absorbs and she knows about too.
Oh
At,
man,
at that
yeah,
age, crazy.
yeah, man. I never pushed it on her. She found it. I mean, obviously, she found it through me and everybody. She's grown up around bands and everything. So, but she went searching for the shit on her own. She got really into that DSBM stuff, and that was kind of out of my realm, man. I like shit to be more pissed off and satanic, and
Yeah,
she liked the shit that was a bit more depressive.
and more
Uh,
atmospheric.
yeah, and so I've actually been asking. I just recently started getting into some of that, like nocturnal depression and stuff.
Yeah,
That Make a Change, Kill Yourself band.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can't stand that fucking name, man. But those guys play some really good fucking music.
Yeah, that's a terrible name.
It sounds like something you'd buy at Hot Topic, But goddamn, they're good though. So I've been picking her little brain about it, and she was one of those. It's her generation. Like if you not, her generation is anti anything that everybody's not welcome to.
Okay.
Everybody's got to be an insider, or everybody's got to be an outsider. It can't be, no, this is for me, not for you. And she was like, blah blah blah, gatekeeping, and I was like, man, gatekeeping is fucking important, dude. To an extent,
Yeah.
because shit gets diluted if you don't protect it.
Right. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Man, I'm going to catch some shit for this, aren't I?
I hope so. Drive the views up.
Yeah. But it is though, to an extent, man, and like, because that's what makes it fucking special, Mo.
Definitely, man. Yeah, because I mean, we live in this digital age where, dude, like every genre of music is like totally fucking saturated, and and I was talking about this on an early recording that whenever you find the needles in the haystack, it makes it all that worth great.
Yeah.
But I think, and one of the things that I really do not take for granted is like friends like yourself and friends that tell me, like, if I don't know about a band and like, hey, share this with me, and I'm like, fucking A, dude.
Yeah,
because you look at you just if one was to go to either like any of the fucking streaming services like Bandcamp and Spotify, whatnot, you hit metal. Yeah, once you get past everything that you know and grew up on, dude, but there is like a fucking just a glacier. It's endless.
Yeah.
And
and so much of it is just like void of substance or emotion or meaning.
Definitely.
But I we're talking about making it special and finding the needle in the haystack. I started working at this cool metal record store here in town called Catacomb. We get some mutual friend Tim owns it.
Yeah, right.
And I go in and I still pick up a record without listening to it based on the album cover, man.
Fucking A, dude.
Because that shit was so exciting. You had to take a chance back in the day.
Absolutely.
My friend Sean, he's older than I am. He's 11 years older than me, so he was around for the first wave of black metal, and him and his buddy had to walk several miles to get to this record store that had metal, and the first Bathory, he picked it up and looked at it. He said, "Bat Lord, I'm getting it,"
Yeah.
And that's the reason I bought my first Obituary cassette. Was the fucking album cover looked cool, man. Yeah.
I remember.
Sometimes you get burnt, and sometimes you find a needle in the haystack. That little golden egg, and anything with the Chris Moyen album cover, I'm probably going to buy and I'm probably going to like. I know that.
I'll never forget, dude. Like after I saw the music video for Wolverine Blues, And I went to the mall in Homa, and I saw that one, so like that was an instant grab. And then like they also had Left Hand Path, and I saw like the cover art to that. I was like, getting that shit too. Same
Yeah,
band, let's go.
yeah, man.
And Left Hand Path was the better album.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can agree on that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. I feel for the kids, man, that don't get to experience it. And I got to circle back around to the Raven thing. You know,
Yeah, go ahead.
she's she came home one day and she's like, "Dad, I saw this jock in a Mayhem hoodie at school, and I know he doesn't listen to Mayhem." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And she's like, "Oh yeah." And I think she like cool guyed him and quizzed him or something. Name 3 songs, asshole. You know, it's one of those.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, you get it now, huh?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah." And but yeah, yeah, man. Watching my kid enjoy the same shit that means so much to me, and how much it means to her, and what it's given back to her in her life, you know. And these damn metal kids aren't going to amount to shit. They're all going to be derelicts and get accepted into University of Dayton for chemical engineering or whatever.
I just know that a lot of the younger bands, it seems to me, it's like the game has changed as far as like how we grew up. Like bands, like they grind it out, play shows, get some popularity, and they eventually get signed to a label that's going to take care of them. But like now, like the record labels, I mean, as far as taking care of their artists, that's questionable, depending on circumstances and who's being involved. But it's like yeah, the metrics, everything's measured by just how popular and how big your audience is on social media.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, it's so easy for these bands to like buy these ghost followers or subscribers or whatnot and get huge in
Yeah.
numbers. But when they go and play a show at somewhere out of state, somewhere out of their comfort zone, nobody fucking knows who they are. And if if they're good, great. But if they suck, it's like some heavy sledding.
Yeah, man. It's in the decade and a half I wasn't doing music, it was everything has changed. The landscape of the whole business end of things, and it's it's like waking up from a fucking coma. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like the world is so different in regards to this now, and the social. I'm active on social media for. I got friends all over the world. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
and it's how we stay in touch now. And but using it as a tool for something I've already put all this energy into and shit is it's a whole different thing, man. It's you don't go. I go and print flyers, but for the nostalgia of it, you know.
Yeah, man. Why not? Why not,
Yeah,
dude?
it's different, man. It's just a different way of doing shit. And
You touched on our mutual friend, Tim Wright. I got to know what it's like to work for Tim.
man, it's fun, you know. He just celebrated 9 months of sobriety,
Hell yeah!
and
Congrats, Tim.
I'm watching that early sobriety thing with Tim where he's going, you know, I may have done something I need to apologize to this person for, and learning to how to put his feet in the ground that way,
Yeah.
and do the hard shit. That's the hardest shit to do is tell
Oh yeah,
somebody I'm
man.
sorry, I fucked up.
Yeah. Whenever the leveling of pride, dude,
Yeah,
it's a game changer.
yeah, it is, man. And I didn't know Tim really while he was doing his thing, and probably for the best, you know. I'm not a very patient person, and I so who knows? But getting to know Tim since he's gotten sober and watching that, I remember feeling that growth and feeling that way. And I think it's fucking awesome. And I think it's something that's really important for people in recovery to do, is to be around people that are new to it, and be open with their experiences about it. And I'm not a 12 stepper. And so having other people in my life that weren't 12 steppers that helped me navigate that thing was really important for me.
Yeah. I think, I've been involved with AA for, a good portion of my sobriety. And I talk to friends that I've met that that have still remained sober. And, I think that, um, there shouldn't be a one way of getting sober and staying sober. There's many, and I hate that there are some people that make a judgment on on
Yeah.
on like non-active AA members who are still sober, because I'm one of them.
That's the thing, man. And people would tell me, "Oh, you're not sober because you're not in recovery because you don't go to meetings." And man, I went to meetings, and every time I was going to meet, or the times I was trying to go to meetings, were the times I fucking relapsed. Now, I'm never going to knock the 12 steps or the
Neither am
12
I.
step programs, because it
Neither am I.
saved a lot of lives.
Including mine.
Sure, and that's important, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't my thing, man.
Yeah.
And when I went, after I got out of rehab and I was like a year and a half sober, I went and got my certification for peer recovery support specialist.
Yeah.
I didn't go to work in the industry because I figured out that was going to be a bad situation for me. But I used that information that in my social media outreach, for people that are looking for sobriety.
It's fucking awesome.
But I going through that program, everybody was telling me, you got to go to 12-step program. You got to go to a 12-step program. And I said, no, man, I can't do it. Personally, my belief system, I don't believe in a higher power, and I don't like the idea of a higher power. And they're like, well, that tree could be your higher power. And I said, the fuck it could, man. I've got thumbs and know how a saw works, So if that's my higher power, we're fucked.
Yeah.
But, I find my knowing the science behind all this shit and why I was the way I was is what does it for me, But anyway, you had asked about Tim. Tim's I really like Tim a lot, man. And I'm real thankful to have a couple days out of the house and in the record store to talk about music and be around all the records and shit and meet new people. And it's been real good for me because I'm not a very social fucking person,
Yeah, man.
So it's forced me to be social. So I'm thankful to Tim for the opportunity and for having me in there and talking. Man, let me tell you this shit. He came out to the show on Friday here in Dayton, and there was these 5 young kids. None of them looked like metalheads. I don't think they knew where the hell they were, and they were teenagers. They were young, yeah. And they were dancing all over the place and moshing and having fun, and that's cool. At first, it irritated my old ass, but then I remembered being a kid and how fucking fun that shit was,
Yeah.
So Tim fucking bought all those kids a shirt.
Fucking A.
Yeah, he saw the kids having fun, and he's like, man, this is good shit. And he bought those kids a shirt. And actually, Lindley said that he might have bought them Grave Ripper shirts and Darkness Undying shirts. So
Tim's such a great guy, man.
Yeah, man.
From the moment I met him at I believe it was our first Inferno back in 2022. We were both. I remember exactly where I met him. We were in the tattoo area. We'll go fixing to get tattooed. He got tattooed by Mark Weatherford, tattoo artist over there. He did all his Celtic Frost work for him, and I was getting tattooed. Sick. I was getting tattooed, but I was starting my sleeve with Yannicke. And I was like, "You American?" He's American. Yeah, man. So we just, start, where you from? I'm from Louisiana. He's from Cleveland, from Ohio.
Yeah.
And, and dude, like, I remember him like telling me like planting a seed about starting a record store, in addition to being a IT security specialist. And I was like, dude, that's fucking amazing, dude. Like that's
Yeah.
and just watching him, like every year that I saw him, after that, it was like he was like just buying stuff, making connections,
Yeah, man.
networking wherever he could, with the people at Nice Blood Records or wherever, and he was just like, just planting the seeds of getting distribution wherever he could. And it's just amazing where that's turning. Like when he got the building, when he started making like all the additions to the
Yeah.
store, I was like, wow, bro, that's fucking badass.
It's only going to get cooler, Mo. We're making it kind of a hub for the underground extreme metal culture, man. That's we're in the process of, I shouldn't say we, Tim's in the process. Uh, I might have planted a couple seeds, but in the process of really making the place. It's already a destination. There's not many extreme metal stores left,
Oh man, not at
and
all.
and these cats come from out of state to come to the metal store, man, to come to Catacomb, and so uh,
I think
it's we're in the process of doing a little makeover in a couple areas and making it real fucking cool, man. I'm stoked.
now that you mentioned it, man, there's like the Rock Fantasy in upstate New York, I believe, and there's there's the heavy metal shop in Salt Lake City that I visited, with Nick, and NWN in San Antonio area, I believe, San
There's
Marcos, Texas.
there's it's not strictly metal, but Skinnies in Virginia Beach has a pretty good metal selection. Um, we were just there in December. That was pretty cool. Real old school vibe, man. I dig it.
I love that shit, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I'm definitely gonna make the trip out there. If it's not the Acid Bat show, I'm definitely. I've been telling Tim, I'm like, I'm gonna get my ass up there, man. I want to see the shop. I want to fucking experience it.
You got a
And
place to stay right here, bro.
appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Likewise, if you ever come to Lafayette, Louisiana, I got you.
Yeah. I need to get down that way, man. It's been a long time.
You're gonna eat really good.
I'm into the fucking food, man. That's
Well,
it.
man, the last question I'm going to ask you is this: 6 albums, bro. What's sacred 6 you taking with you if that house
Oh,
is on fire? God forbid.
man. You know what? I was thinking about this because I wanted you to ask this question. The Sacred Six, huh?
That's right. Who you got?
Fuck me, man.
Who you got?
Uh, let's see here, man. I'm going to go with Altars of Madness.
Solid choice right off the bat.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Soul Mouth Secrets.
Fucking A. Classic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ben and the
Am
boys.
I going to go with Soul Mouth Secrets or Pussy Soul, man? Fuck my life.
You can always go both.
Yeah, we're going to do both. That's going to count as one, though. So.
Look at you trying to make the rules on my fucking show.
That's the way I roll, man. I'm not a fan of authority. That's probably why.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Let's see. Drawing Down the Moon.
Oh, Beharit. Yes,
Yeah.
go. Let's go.
Yeah.
According to your math, that's 3.
That's right. That's exactly right. Or 2.5, maybe. I don't know. Let's see how many I can squeeze into 6.
There you go.
Well, Where Only Seasons Mark the Past of Time, obviously. I mentioned that earlier as an important one. Okay. Fuck, man.
Tumor. Got 2 more. Tumor.
Yeah. Rain of Blood.
Oh,
Got to.
Yeah.
Raven's middle name is Araya.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. One more, huh?
One more. You got this.
I'm staring at my records, but it's dark in here. Oh, fuck. I guess Bathory, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Rat Lord.
Battlelord, baby.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. I love it. You brought nothing but the heaviness and some groove.